Addiction doesn't discriminate. It can find anyone. But you might not be surprised to find out that addiction found its way to my door. I grew up in a home that was riddled with drugs and crime. My father spent his entire adult life battling substance use disorder. He bounced in and out of prison, treatment centers, and my life. I cannot remember spending a Christmas with my father until I was about 16 years old. I knew the dangers that drugs and alcohol presented, and I swore that I would never end up like him. Yet, at 28, I found myself a father of 2 young children on my way to prison for drug crimes. I was homeless, I was hopeless, and I believed that my life would end the same way my father's had. My name is Roger Fox, and I ended up at the Shepherd's house because it was the last place on earth that would take me.
My upbringing couldn't have been more different from Roger's. My family was financially well off. As a kid, we went to Disney World more times than I can count. I had the latest Xbox, my family belonged to the country club, and I could get the latest soccer shoes that Wayne Rooney wore. Though I never experienced a lack of material things, my family still dealt with generations of addiction. My uncle died from a heroin overdose. My grandfather passed away due to chronic alcoholism. In every aspect of my life, alcohol and drug addiction caused problems for me and my family. Growing up, I had this overwhelming sense of inadequacy. Call it entitled, spoiled, but to me, the thought of needing more to fix me was always on my mind. At an early age, I started experimenting with drugs and alcohol, and there, I found freedom from those perceived inadequacies. Every time the opportunity presented itself, I was like, this is what kids do. But it was like playing with fire. At the age of 19, I tried heroin. Now, this is a pivotal part with my journey with addiction. I became trapped in a cycle, and I couldn't escape. I had every resource available to me. I tried treatment program after treatment program. My disease had gotten so severe that I had ran away from a treatment program and had to be admitted into Vanderbilt psychiatric unit just to keep from harming myself or others. I thought I had broken my brain. I couldn't stop, even though my consequences were painful. Addiction doesn't discriminate. It can find people in all walks of life. My name is Blake Hobson, and I ended up at the Shepherd's house because I had run out of options. Coming into the Shepherd's house, I thought I was going to kick back for a while, learn about addiction. But when I got dropped off on the University of Kentucky's campus, my first thought was, well, this isn't too bad. When I walked in the house, there were men just finishing cooking dinner. Everyone was gathered in the dining room. I was welcomed in and told to sit down and eat. My idea about treatment started to change. These guys were laughing and cutting up with each other. They genuinely seemed happy. After dinner, I was shown the room I'd be sharing with another guy and was told I needed to sign out with a senior client in order to leave the house to go to a 12-step meeting. Walking to the meeting, the guys in the house went over the rules and expectations, the daily chores, getting a job, groups after work, getting a sponsor, going to 12-step meetings, but most importantly, lifting the guys up and being there for each other. He said, it seems like a lot, and it can be, but it's a routine and consistency they're trying to build in your life.
One of the key principles of the Shepherd's House is that each person should work. And within 2 weeks of becoming a resident of one of our programs, you're expected to go and find a job. For me, That first job was cutting French fries at Five Guys. The general manager of that restaurant hired a lot of Shepherd's House clients, and he gave me, 3 days out of prison, my first opportunity in the workplace. Now, I'm not gonna tell you that I love that job. I made minimum wage, and I felt like they were way too serious about hamburgers. But I will never forget that feeling of receiving my first honest paycheck. I took it back to the house. I was so proud. I was able to start working with our therapist to develop a budget that fit my life. I started to set goals. I was starting to change. My real transformation began about 6 months into the program. My girlfriend of 3 years, Cassie, who was 15 months sober at the time, relapsed and died of a heroin overdose. I was lost. This was my person. I wasn't known to handle death very well, and my family probably expected me to lose all of the momentum that I'd built in the previous months. But it was my brothers in the program that were not going to let that happen. They picked me up. They carried me through one of the darkest times of my life. The staff of the Shepherd's House taught me that it was okay to cry and it was okay to grieve. They told me that no matter what happens, I did not have to use. Something changed a few months after Cassie's death. I decided that I wanted to do whatever I could to prevent another person from losing their life to drugs and alcohol. I started looking for ways to give back to the new guy that was coming into our program. And I've been able to make this my life's work. At the Shepherd's House, that's not so unusual. 90% of our staff are people in recovery, and half of those people are graduates of the Shepherd's House program. Today, we serve over 500 men and women across 6 Kentucky counties. We have built a strong community of hundreds of men and women who have achieved sobriety and come back to pour into our programs. They start businesses and hire clients. They build lifelong friendships and become each other's family. This community is truly a part of our lifeline.
Addiction doesn't discriminate. It can find people in all walks of life. I want to break the cycle in my family and in my community through leading by example. I want to show people that living a new life is possible and that there is hope. My clients can't imagine me being one of them when I share my experience. I've been transformed. Just staying in recovery is a miracle for all of us. Going from a place to where I felt like I didn't have a choice, to having a choice, having the power to live a fulfilling life because it has purpose and community. When you're in the grips of it, you don't feel like you have any other choice. Sometimes you're granted opportunities to change, but you need help with the shift. The Shepherd's House helped me make that shift. They helped me build a life for myself, my family, and they helped me find my purpose.
Over the past 32 years, the Shepherd's House has helped thousands of men and women fight their fight against this fatal disease of addiction. Will you join us on the front lines as we continue to fight the good fight to help people take back their lives?